Mapping our genes. In this topic, we would learn about theory of evolution of life, evidences for organic evolution, and Darwin's theory of natural selection. Evolution. When we look around us, we see a variety of organisms. As the environment changes, the organisms also change many a times. These organisms, whether plants or animals, are well adapted to their environment. These organisms have certain salient characteristic features in them, which help them to get well acclimatized to their environment. Those organisms which cannot adjust to their surrounding have no right to survive, is the rule of the nature. There are more than 1 crore species of animals found on this earth today. They are of varying size and complexities, from minute unicellular amoeba or paramecium to the huge and gigantic whales. Likewise, from unicellular chlorella to the big banyan tree, there are about 2.5 crore species of plants on this earth. Life is present on all parts of the earth, from the equator to the poles, in the air, soil, sea, wood, rock, etc. From time immemorial, man is curious to know about the origin of life on this planet and how the great diversity in it came into existence. Theory of evolution of life. According to the above-mentioned theory, a life substance appeared on the earth in seawater. During course of time, this living substance developed into a unicellular form of life. Then some gradual and orderly changes took place in this unicellular form, and it developed into multicellular forms of greater and greater complexity. Then behavioral patterns also gradually underwent many changes. These changes were very slow and sequential. It took a prolonged period of nearly 300 crores of years. These changes and development of living things took place in all aspects, and that gave way for many different kinds of living things to come into existence. Hence, this process is called the evolution of life on Earth, which is also referred to as organic evolution. Organic evolution is thus the progressive development of animals and plants from ancestors of different form and functions. Evidences for organic evolution. Organic theory of evolution is the most accepted theory as it answers many questions like how life came into existence, how various forms developed, and how more competent species come into existence. Various types of evidences are also available to support the theory. In spite of many adaptive differences in protoplasm and cells, their manifestations of life process like growth, reproduction, and metabolism are essentially the same in all organisms. Morphological evidence. Activity. Observe the pictures and answer the following question. What are the common features that you observe among plants and among the animals? Your answer indicates that there are similarities among the three, and thus it suggests common origin and evolution from common ancestry. Anatomical evidence. Generally speaking, the human arm, a bull's leg, a bat's wing, and whale's fin have nothing in common. They all perform different functions in their respective animals. Since their functions are different, and there is difference in their structures. When we observe the figures minutely, we are able to establish similarities in the bones of these different organs and their joints. This similarity is attributed to having developed from a common ancestor. Well, it is interesting to know organisms have organs of similar function. If they are fundamentally unlike except in function, they are termed as analogous. For example, tail fin of lobster and flukes of whale. B. Wings of fly and wings of a bird. C. Eyes of arthropods and vertebrates. Organs which are fundamentally the same in structure but perhaps modified for widely different functions are termed as homologies. For example, the forelimbs of man adopted for handling, bat and bird adopted for flying, whale and seal adopted for swimming, have the same principal skeletal composition. Similarities observed between the homologous organs are due to the fact that evolution leads to modify the existing structures for new modified functions, creating a new structure. Vestigial structures. Some organisms possess non-functional structures which in other organisms have essential functions. Vestigial organs are the non-functional organs. For example, man does not possess a tail like a monkey. However, he does have a rudimentary tailbone composed of 4 fused vertebrae in the same position. There are also some rudimentary muscles attached to the tailbone. These muscles are like that of the muscles of the monkey, which it uses to swing the tail. This evidence advocates the fact that monkey and man have a common ancestry. These anatomical study of the bodily structure of plants and animals too supports the theory of evolution. For example, vermiform appendix of man is one such organ among others. The reason could be that human ancestors were eating uncooked food with considerable cellulose contained in them. The normal function of caecum and appendix in mammals is the digestion of cellulose. Man shows a number of other vestigial structures. About 100 have been named. A few examples are ear muscles, wisdom teeth, plica semilunaris, representing
nictitating
of the eyes, reduced tail, etc. Paleontological evidence. The process of fossilization takes a very long period of time. In order to study the fossil, the land is excavated. Fossils are collected from different levels of depths. A systematic study of these fossils and its occurrence revealed that the deepest layers were found to have fossils of invertebrates. In layers above them were found
prehistoric
fish, like animals, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals, respectively, in that order. This suggests that perhaps this was the order in which the animals appeared on the earth. Charles Robert Darwin, 12th February 1809 to 19th April 1882, was British naturalist who established that all species of life have descended over a time from common ancestors and proposed the scientific theory that this branching pattern of evolution resulted from a process that he called natural selection. Darwin's theory of natural selection. On the basis of the observation, Darwin suggested that only the fittest survive. All those plants and animals which are not fit die. This fit species reproduce and pass on the relevant characteristics to the following generation, which in turn would make them fit for survival. The process of selection of characteristics that contributes to the fitness for survival was called natural selection by Darwin. Why is there a competition between individuals of the same type? There are many differences found even in the individuals of the same species. Some individuals have certain factors to a greater extent than others. If these factors are necessary for survival, then these individuals can survive the struggles for existence. Other individuals who do not possess these factors die. These useful factors appear only in some individual in the next generation of the species. Here also, in the struggle among the individuals for survival, only those possessing the factors at greater levels survive, and this process continues from generation after generation. The natural selection of the individuals best adapted to their environment will be made clear from the following example. A certain variety of moths, which often fall prey to birds, is found in the surroundings of Birmingham in England. These moths are found in two colors, black and grey. Both these varieties live on the tree trunks. Years ago, trees in this particular area were host to the growth of algae and fungi and thus were grey in color. Hence, the grey moths were easily camouflaged on the tree trunks and were protected from their predators. The black moths were easily noticed by the predatory birds and were consequently eaten by them in greater numbers. So the population of grey moths was much higher than the black ones. Later, as a result of industrial revolution, here was an increase in the level of pollution. Owing to this, there was hardly any growth of algae or fungi on the tree trunks get covered by soot which gave them a black color. Now it was the black moths that began to get protection and the grey ones were easily detected by their predators and consumed by them. Nowadays, in the surroundings of Birmingham, black moths are found in large numbers. The theory of natural selection helped to explain the process of the development of living things, but did not explain how an individual plant or animals acquired factors that made it better adapted to its surroundings. In the source of time, these questions were answered by the discovery of the laws governing heredity and mutation, and thus Darwin's theory come to be universally accepted. Summary 1. According to the theory of evolution of life appeared first on the earth in seawater. During course of time, unicellular form of life developed. Then some gradual and orderly changes took place in this unicellular form and it developed into multicellular forms of greater and greater complexity. Organic evolution is thus the progressive development of animals and plants from ancestors of different form and functions. According to Darwin's theory of natural selection, only the fittest will survive, and all those plants and animals which are not fit die. And that is all in this lesson, student. Learning is fun, so keep learning.